Bubba Cunningham, North Carolina's athletic director, has a long phone conversation with Jim Delany on the night of June 30th, on the night that UCLA and USC announced that they were going to go to the Big Ten. Welcome to episode 56 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We're going to get into this story that was broken by Andrew Carter of the News and Observer today on September 22nd. We're going to get right into the article. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. I want to hear what your thoughts on it in the comment section below the video. And please, again, hit the like button. It helps us with the algorithm so much of YouTube. So please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and please share the video with your family and friends. Let's get right to this article that was broken today. Today by Andrew Carter, the News and Observer. They filed a FOIA with the University of North Carolina, and they got a text message, a simple text message with simple words, but I think it has a lot of meaning behind it. Let's get right into it. This is the article. The text message conversation began on the afternoon of June 30th, the way countless others around the country did, with two people with an interest in college athletics commiserating about the news of the day. They were not merely fans, though, but the two of the most powerful figures in the ACC, leaders with an ability to shape the future of the conference and college sports. I just heard USC and UCLA may announce today they are joining the Big Ten. Bubba Cunningham, the athletic director at North Carolina, texted to Kevin Gusiewicz, the university chancellor, as the news began to spread of another round of major conference realignment. A few hours later, Gusiewicz responded. The ACC presidents and chancellors had scheduled a meeting for the morning. And first, he wanted to talk with the athletic director. They agreed to a 6 p.m. call. After around 10:30, Cunningham texted his boss again. Cunningham had shared a conversation with a University of North Carolina alum who had become one of the most powerful figures in college athletics over the past several decades. A man who, before his recent retirement, had forever changed the financial model of his industry. The same man who positioned the Big Ten as one of the college sport's two dominant conferences. Quote, had a long call with Jim Delany tonight, unquote, Cunningham wrote in his text to Gusiewicz, referencing the former Big Ten commissioner who led that conference from 1989 through 2020. He preaches, Jim Delany, he preaches patience and planning. No need to rush right now. We're going to get back to that. That's primarily what we're going to be talking about was that text message the News and Observer got in a FOIA request of the University of North Carolina. Beautiful work by the News and Observer. Beautiful work. A FOIA request got the text messages from Bubba Cunningham, the athletic director, to the Chancellor of North Carolina. But let's just finish this article off by saying here in the next paragraph, the text messages, which UNC released to the News and Observer after a public records request, provided a brief snapshot into how two of the most powerful leaders in college athletics in North Carolina react to the latest seismic change in college sports. The news of the Big Ten's impending expansion immediately became a moment of demarcation, a dividing line between how things were before and everything that has happened and will happen as a result. You can read the rest of the article at News and Observer by Andrew Carter that came out today. Again, we're just going to read this one part over, and then we're going to talk about it, discuss it, what it might mean. Had a long call with Jim Delany tonight. Bubba Cunningham, athletic director of North Carolina, University of North Carolina. Cunningham wrote in his text to Gusiewicz, the Chancellor of North Carolina, referencing the former Big Ten commissioner who led the conference from 1989 through 2020. Quote, he preaches patience and planning. No need to rush right now. He preaches patience and planning. No need to rush right now. So, why do I think that's important? Well, first of all, let's be honest here. Jim Delany is an alum of North Carolina. He's always going to be interested what happens to the University of North Carolina. We know that the University of North Carolina is a huge brand, the biggest state in the country, the highest populated state in the country that is not part of SEC or Big Ten country. Okay? North Carolina is the biggest state in the United States of America that is not part of SEC or Big Ten country, and it's a huge brand. You have 4 big-time Power 5 schools in that state: North Carolina State, Duke, Wake Forest, but North Carolina, University of North Carolina, is by far the largest brand of that state. And of course, SEC and the Big Ten would love for that university to join the conference. We also know that North Carolina cannot make a move right now if they wanted to. They cannot proceed to do a conference realignment like USC and UCLA did. North Carolina cannot move to the Big Ten or the SEC right now because of the long-term grant of rights that they are under the ACC. The ACC owns the grant of rights. They own the media rights of the University of North Carolina and every other school in the conference. So therefore, if North Carolina wanted to move to the Big Ten today, they wouldn't bring their media rights with them, so they wouldn't be of any value. So that's why North Carolina can't make the move. And we at Peek Around the Corner are we believe that the grant of rights has teeth, has legal binding teeth. There's really no way out of it. You could potentially pay your way out of the gore. You could present University of North Carolina, just an example, could present a huge mammoth check to the ACC conference, $500, $600 million, and say, now let us out of the grant of rights. ACC might not even accept that check because they know if North Carolina left the conference, that would be it for the conference. Okay, so we have that. We know North Carolina can't really move out of the grant of rights. And the issue of dissolution. We are not a big proponent. We do not believe in the idea of the dissolution of the ACC where 8 members could vote to dissolve the conference. If 8 ACC schools vote to dissolve the conference would dissolve, therefore the grant of rights would dissolve. We bring that up. We have brought that possibility up here at Peek Around the Corner because we talk about everything college football, even the things we don't agree with. And plus, another reason we bring that up is because ACC leadership has alluded to this possibility. So, we're not a big believer in dissolution or breaking the grant of rights, at least not breaking the grant of rights for another 10 years. So, getting back to what Jim Delany is saying to Bubba Cunningham, he preaches patience and planning, no need to rush right now. Because I think those are short-term, short-handed way of saying North Carolina is really nothing you can, as you know, North Carolina, Jim Delany is saying to Bubba Cunningham, there's nothing you can really do right now in regards to your conference realignment, to realign yourself with the Big Ten or the SEC. There's nothing you can do because you have that grant of rights hovering above you. So no need to rush right now. And then he says he preaches patience and planning. Patience is obvious. There's nothing North Carolina can do right now. But the planning. He preaches patience and planning. In other words, let's be honest here. Let's be honest. Bubba Cunningham has a long phone conversation with Jim Delany. When? On the pivotal night, June 30th, according to this FOIA information, on June 30th, the night that USC, UCLA joined the Big Ten Conference. That pivotal night, that long phone conversation. He preaches patience and planning. In other words, Jim Delany is not saying to Bubba Cunningham, plan to... Their conversation wasn't in and around plan to create more value somehow in the ACC, or plan to expand the ACC, or what have you. It was planning. Plan your realignment now. Set it up. And he's talking to the former Big Ten commissioner, who basically still has all types. The door is open in Kevin Warren's office to Jim Delany. Let's cut to the chase. I have often said that if dissolution did happen in the ACC, if the ACC were somehow to get 8 votes to dissolve the conference, be way before 2036, in the next year, let's say in 2024, 2025, that would, to me, indicate that ESPN would have a huge invisible hand to make it happen. And then that would deem North Carolina to truly be favorite to go to the SEC. Because remember, the ESPN holds all the SEC's content and the ACC's content, the current conference that North Carolina is in. So to me, the dissolution, if that breaks open, which we don't think it will, but if it does, if we're wrong at peek around the corner, dissolution happens in ACC, we believe that SEC would eat first, not the Big Ten, because it would take the invisible hand of ESPN that make this crazy fantasy theory of dissolution to happen. We believe SEC would eat first and grab North Carolina as one of the top 2 targets. North Carolina, Virginia, Florida State, and Clemson. However, as Jim Delany says, preaches patience and planning, no need to rush right now, because nothing's going to be happening right now. As the years go on, as that grant of rights becomes shorter term, as it becomes less expensive to get out of, the possibilities of it breaking becomes bigger. If that's when conference realignment happens for ACC schools, you better believe. I would consider heavily Big Ten to be the favorites to get North Carolina into their conference. Remember, at Peek Around the Corner, we've often said this, we'll say it again. The end game for Big Ten is to expand out east, to fulfill the composition of the Big Ten for the next couple generations. It's not going to be finished out west. It's going to happen out east. That's when it finishes it up. And if this Jim Delany talking to Bubba Cunningham, he preaches patience and planning. This is what Cunningham is saying to the Chancellor. Cunningham is saying to the Chancellor that this is what Jim Delany is saying. Jim Delany is preaching patience and planning. No need to rush right now. But plan. What are you going to do? What can you do? Plan for the time that you have the ability to change conferences. And oh, by the way, Jim Delany is all about the Big Ten. He's not saying SEC in these conversations with North Carolina. I think this is a very big story out of North Carolina in regards to the future of the University of North Carolina. Great job by the News and Observer for filing the FOIA. File those FOIA. You never know what negative information you're going to get. And they just got it. Brilliant work. Thank you so much to Andrew Carter for publishing this article, and for the News and Observer for filing that FOIA. Again, put down your comments in the comment section below. What do you think this means? Or are we blowing this story up here at Peek Around the Corner? Let me know. I read all the comments. Until next time, from all of us at Peek Around the Corner to all of you, please, you all take care of each other. Thank you so very much.